Hello and welcome to Leicester Fan TV for another show. Locks here. It was only earlier on you saw me doing a video on Maddison's statement, but I am back for another video now. Today, as you can see in the title and in the thumbnail before, we're going to be talking about defensive chaos. That's what the video is called. And let's be honest, that is what we have been for more than just this season, for probably 2 years now. Defensive chaos at the back, as we all know. Get your comments in below, please do. I'll be getting them all up on screen, as many as I can. We're continuing to do these videos this week, just breaking down what has gone wrong this season. And like I said, in terms of defense, not just this season, but the last 2 years or 18 months. But yeah, so we'll start really with, the fact that we've been very good going forwards this season. We scored a lot of goals. I think we're in the top 10 of scoring goals. Aren't we like 8th, I think, or 8th or 9th for goals scored? However, at the back, it's been a shambles. It's been an absolute shambles. You know, we saw Wesley Fofana leave in the summer, late on in the transfer window as well. We can't forget. It was very late on. And we brought in Faes. Now, I've seen some people say, well, Wout Faes, was it a panic buy, or were we rushed into signing the wrong man? But you got to think, like, surely we knew Fofana was probably going to leave, so surely that Wout Faes signing was in the works for longer than just a few days. He must have been heavily scouted, and Rodgers was clearly a fan, before he came. So why do we choose Wout Faes? I mean, I know not just me, a lot of Leicester fans have probably been calling out for like a Premier League proven centre-back, as we've seen before, right? We've brought in Johnny Evans in the past, Premier League proven centre-back when we needed to shore up the defence, but we didn't see it. We brought in an unproven player, quite young still and inexperienced, and I don't know if it was maybe just because of his links with Belgium, with the Castagne, Tillemans, Pratt. I'm not sure, but let's go to some of the comments. Let me know in the comments what you think. Was Faes the right man to bring in? Could he still prove to be a good buy? I mean, you'd think he might do well in the Championship next season, but will he be good in the future in the Premier League once he's settled into this side? Let me know what you think. Wayne Dunnicliffe is here. Scored goals, but let far too many in. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. Far too many. That's why we were relegated, because of the defence. If it was all on going forwards and scoring goals, we'd be a lot higher in the table. James Kane says, banking on a reserve keeper to replace Casper. Shambles. We'll talk about that for sure. So I'll come back to that comment, James. We got bullied into selling Fofana at the start of the season. So this is what I'm talking about, Simon. Let me know what you think to this, guys, in the comments. But you can say we got bullied, obviously, into it because he technically went on strike, right? We've seen Mahrez do it in the past, but again, Wout Faes, Premier League clubs have players lined up for each position. Like, we will know who our targets are for James Maddison replacements. We'll know our targets for Yuri Tillemans replacements. We probably had targets for the Kasper Schmeichel replacement, but we just didn't do it. And with the Wout Faes thing, I think that he probably was scouted a lot, for quite a while. I don't think they've just, pulled his name out of thin air. So then that goes to the scouting, whoever that is, whether it's Rodgers, as we know, he did begin to take things into his own hands, transfer-wise, later on. So is that his signing, just his, or has he been scouted thoroughly beforehand? Christopher Pohl says Jesse Lingard would do us in the Championship. We're not going to talk about the signings, incomings just yet, Christopher. That will be coming on another show. We've got a lot of time. So yeah, everyone try and keep the comments to the defense this season, or the team in general this season, because that's what this video is about. Sam and Reedy did a show on Tuesday, talking about players that we should get rid of or keep. And then I did a show talking about Brendan Rodgers on Tuesday night. And so, yeah, there's a load of shows. So if you go to, after this video, go to Leicester Fan TV, there's a load of videos there breaking down this season. Sam B says, still tried to play a high line with slow defenders was a big problem. Yeah, I mean, look, we know Wesley Fofana had a lot more pace than Wout Faes and Johnny Evans. And that allowed us, really, when he was here, to play a bit of a higher line. But come on, I mean, with Johnny Evans, I mean, he's barely been there with Wout Faes and Daniel Amartey. I mean, Daniel Amartey isn't the slowest, but he's not got a brain, you know, being a bit hard, but he's not got that footballing brain to allow him to hold a high line. How many times this season have we seen, you know, a high line, but then one of the back four being too deep and keeping someone onside? And if you're playing a high line, you've all four defenders or five, however many you're playing, they've all got to be kind of have an understanding of where they're meant to be and when they're pushing and when they're dropping. And we just haven't had that. And probably as well, part of that is been caused by the inconsistency of a back four. You know, you look at the Premier League title winning season in 2015-16, you know, apart from obviously early on when there was Richie Delat and Jeffrey Schlupp, once it changed to that steady back four of Huth, Morgan, Simo and Fuchs, they were constant minutes between them, constant minutes. They understood each other, and we haven't had that at all. Look at Liverpool last season. It was the same for them, or 2 seasons ago. It was the same for them. They had so many different partnerships, you know, in defence due to injuries and stuff. They had no idea what they were doing half the time. Jamie Toft says, amazing to see the defensive difference when Casper left. Absolutely no leader whatsoever. Yep. And got to agree with you. Got to agree with you. We saw a few times Ward arguing with the defence. And, you know, Casper's the leader. Casper was the captain. And he was there to keep his defenders in check. And we've lost that completely. Again, it's another case of load of things culminating in a catastrophic event. Shocking. Rogers Nick says, we all know what went wrong. What we need to know is why and how they are going to put it right. Yeah, exactly. Look, Roger, you know, we're just going through, we're highlighting things, you know, because whether you believe this or not, and you might not believe it, and some people do find it hard to believe, and even I found it hard to believe. I'm aware of 1 or 2 people in the club having watched Leicester Fan TV before. And, you know, we're just trying to break things down and try and get across how frustrated we are with everything. And they probably don't care, Roger, but, you know, it's all we can do as fans. We can just talk. We can't play. We can't step out and get paid 30 grand a week and, you know, don the shirts that we all love and over here, the badge, you know, and do it ourselves. We can't. So we've got to talk about it, you know, and just vent, let the frustration out. Otherwise it's going to eat you up. I wasn't going to show it because I thought it was a swear word, but no, it's not a swear word. Patrick says, flecking awful. Yeah, absolutely. The defense. ZZ1's here. Hi, mate. Hi to you, ZZ1. Thanks for joining. Morris should have put Iverson in goal when Danny Ward let so many in. Yeah, I mean, we spoke about this the other day. I mean, you got to think it took far too long for Ward to be dropped and for Iverson to come in. We know now, again, hindsight, how good Iverson was when he came in the team. He shored us up. We conceded less goals besides the 5 against Fulham. But, you know, I suppose it is hindsight. You know, he is also an unproven goalkeeper. There was no guarantee that he was going to come in and do a better job. Not as bad as we already got or will be left with. I'm guessing you're talking about Faes, maybe. If that's the case, then yeah, I mean, he's going to be starting for us in the Championship. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion. Let me know if you disagree, though. Patrick says, Cag's gone to Atletico Madrid. Another wonderful example by our elite coach. I mean, what does Diego Simeone know about defending? Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. I mean, and he's been linked with Atletico Madrid for over a year now. So, listen, right. It's like with me. I think, let's say you've got a player on your hands. Let's say we're Leicester, right? And let's say there's a player from Huddersfield, right? That's come through the ranks. So just plucks a name out there. If you hear that maybe Pep Guardiola, one of the best managers, if you hear he's interested in this Huddersfield player, you got to think, well, hold on. He must be quite good, because if he's after him. So when you see Diego Simeone after Soyuncu, why are you not thinking to yourselves? I mean, I know Leicester fans were, but why the board and the recruitment team not thinking, well, I mean, if Simeone wants him, surely we should keep him. And from what I've heard, we haven't really put in much of an effort to keep Soyuncu, and that is on Rodgers. Simon says Johnny Evans seems to be calm and influence on the other defenders. Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it for the last 3 seasons, but the problem is now, can we still rely on Johnny Evans? And will he even be here in a couple of months? His contract's up. Will we try and re-sign him, or the direction the club's going in now? Are they going to try and, go all out and try and just completely refresh the squads, rebuild completely, even players that we probably could tempt? No thanks. You're not re-signing. We're going for a brand new squad. Be interesting to see. Mendy is very reliable. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a midfielder, but we can talk about it because he's defensive midfielder, and we've seen how good he was, and for some reason Rodgers was hesitant to play him, and Dean Smith seems just hell-bent on not playing him. So that was a strange thing for us to watch over the season. James says defense has been shocking, but midfield culpable for giving teams the freedom to overload on our defense. Absolutely. I mean, remember, fan favorite, legend of the club, N'Golo Kante. And even Wilfred Ndidi, for the first couple of years he was here, in that kind of anchor role, deep in midfield, and just sitting in front of the defense helps them out a lot, massively helps them out. And our midfield, it's been invisible, absolutely invisible. Amartey is a solid defender. He unfortunately has no first touch, no passing ability, and no legs, ultimately making him completely obsolete in the Premier League. You've put it harshly, James. He's done all right sometimes when he's come in, but as in not this season, a couple of years ago when we've had injuries. But yeah, this year it was hard to watch, wasn't it? When Amartey was going through that period of starting every week, it was hard. Carmen's here. Hi, you okay? Hi, Carmen. Nice to see you. Ndidi's drop-off and not picking Mendy didn't help protect the defense. Exactly what we were just talking about, Sam. Exactly what we were just talking about. Maddison player of the season. Is that the case? I think that might be the case. I think Timothy Castagna won players player of the season. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I mean, how a defender's won player of the season or players player of the season, I'll never know. Is it just for that Wolves goal? Like, is that it? Come on. Like, Maddison and Iheanacho, I would say, are the two that probably deserve player of the season. Whatever we have to say about Maddison now in the second half of the season. Maddison, if you had to pick any of them, I'd have picked Alex Smithies. He's the only one who didn't play a part. But no. If you go on contributions, Maddison and Iheanacho have got to be up there. Robert puts a nice comment. Always Leicester City, no matter win, lose or draw. My problem in USA is how to watch next year. Foxes for life. Well, Robert, yeah, it's going to be difficult. You might be able to manage it in America championship game. I'm sure there'll be so much showing it, but yeah. Imtiaz says, until we don't get Rodkin out, we won't get any good signings. Well, Imtiaz, I know what you mean. You've got to think Rodkin was there for the last, the last big recruitment drive that we had that was successful, i.e. Ricardo Pereira, James Maddison. Rodkin was at the club. I think the problem is that Brendan Rodgers seems to have single-handedly destroyed our recruitment department, and now really all that we're left with is Rodkin to head it, and we need to rebuild that scouting department big time. Absolutely. Alex Scott agrees terms according to Foss Hub. I think that's fake news, if I'm honest. From what I've seen, I'll just double check that. But I think it was fake news that came out. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's fake news. You know, Alex Scott is a great player from Bristol City, but it's going to be hard. Go get Connor Cody again. We'll talk about potential signings very soon, but in another video. But yeah, Connor Cody's one who's been let go by Everton. They don't want to re-sign him. He's back at Wolves. Wolves don't seem to want him. Why not? We had great recruitment until the majority of our backroom staff were poached in 2019. Again, like, you know, I want to talk more about the defense. I don't want to talk too much about signings and stuff, but you know, we've seen great recruitment from Leicester in the past, but not at the minute. Not at the minute. Iverson did well. Yeah, exactly. You know, back to defense. Obviously, Iverson in goal. He did great when he came in. You know, a few errors here and there, but he did okay. He did okay. Much better than Danny Ward. Soyuncu player of the season. It's a good shot. I mean, he only played a few games, but you know, in the games he did play, I suppose he played better than a lot of others. Madison's statement today is embarrassing. After this video, if you click on our videos, I did a little short video earlier about it, so that's on our channel. But no, this isn't the video to talk about that. Faes scoring own goals for fun. He scored 2 in the same game. Yeah, look, I mean, Faes, he should have probably won Player of the Season for his 2 goals. I mean, oh, Jesus. A third, actually, didn't he? Scored against West Ham on the last day. It's shocking. I mean, it's just been a shambles all over the shop. We're going to get on to something now, and I want the chat to join in. So please, guys, if you are watching, this is where I really need you to put comments in below, okay? Now, I'm going to put up pictures of players from our defense this season, and I want you to, in one word, describe them from this season. No abuse, no swearing. Just try and sum up their season in one word. And I think I know how it's going to go, but please, no abuse, no swearing. We'll start with this guy. Here he is. We've just spoken about him not long ago. Danny Ward. One word to describe Danny Ward this season. Again, no abuse or anything, please. Just keep it nice and nice and respectful, I suppose. But you know, just sum it up. What do you think to him this season? I mean, look, it was always going to be hard coming in and filling in for Kasper Schmeichel. It was always going to be difficult. But we just did not expect what was to come. I mean, it was bad. Let's look at some of the comments, what people are saying. Christopher says, let down. Yeah, you know, I'd agree with that. Imtiaz says, rubbish. Mick says, dreadful. Morris says, get rid. I want to swear, but bad. Yeah, no, please try and keep it calm. Otherwise, I won't be getting the comment on screen. Unlucky. It's an interesting one. Kunal, please try and explain why. Wayne says, poor. Sam says, butterfingers. Mohammed says disappointed. Jack says ex-copite. And Scott says embarrassing. I think most of them pretty much sum up Danny Ward's season. Next one is an interesting one. I mean, you've got to think back a long time to have what you want to say about this guy here. But he did play some games at the start of the season. And I'm sure he'll be playing for us next season. Let us know in the comments what you think to this guy. Again, you know, unlucky with injuries, but I've just seen the first comment from Jack Murphy. Nice one, mate. But yeah, let me know what you think. Obviously, it's so disappointing. A bit like Ricardo, you know, it's unfortunate. But let me know in the comments what you think to him. You know, it's been tough, and it must be horrible for him, and like it is for us just watching. Imtiaz says unfortunate, great talent. I think that's spot on, Imtiaz. Mohammed Salim says very good. Wayne says unlucky. Yeah, I think that's the fair thing to say. Fragile as well. Liam, spot on, mate. James says don't remember him. Not surprised. Not surprised. Christopher, just cut the chase. Put all the pictures up so I can just write let down once. JJ will smash it in the championship. I hope he can stay fit. I really do, Simon. Jack says glass legs. Accurate. Mick says didn't look the same player after his injury. ZZ1 says did good at one stage, then just was so bad, confusing. I think his injuries played a part, really. I do. Played good when not injured. Jack says he's joking. He's a good player, Justin. Yeah, I would agree. He has so much to give, as Andy says. I wouldn't disagree with any of you there. Next player coming up, it's the man we spoke about at the start. Here he is. Again, try not to swear. It is this guy, number 3, Wout Faes, or Wout Faes, or Wout Faes, or Wout Fess, or whatever you want to call him. I'd go Wout Faes. Let me know what you think to him. Again, I would say he's been below average, I would say. I mean, Simon's already said average. I would say below average. It's been tough for him, confidence, I suppose. It's you know what, if we were winning games every week, and he comes in, he's probably playing absolutely outstanding. I mean, look at Wesley Fofana in the Chelsea team when they're on bad form. Fofana has had a shocker. So it's difficult coming into a team that are struggling to keep clean sheets and win games. But James Kane says, head's gone. Calamity Top Bin says, Mohammed Salim says, not good. Kunal says, passion. Yeah, I mean, that's fair, probably. Imtiaz says, woeful, Wout Faes. I think Imtiaz also corrected me. He says it's pronounced Wout. I think I said that, Wout Faes. Did I say Wout Faes or Wout Faes? I can't remember now. I'm second guessing myself. Jack says flop. I mean, was he ever really expected to do much? Suppose he was still, what was he, 18 million or something? So started well, but disappointed. ZZ1 says top scorer. Morris says, don't know what to make of him. I think we'll find that we'll find him really well, really good in the championship, because it's probably his level for now, but that might change. Ronald McDonald says, good before the World Cup, ordinary afterwards. Although probably passionate, ZZ1 says. Imtiaz says, clumsy player. I actually think he's a decent player. That the own goals have hampered his reputation, but maybe championship will make him a better player when you have to be physical. Nick says, our tactics terrible. You can bet on how many passes your defenders have, and ours every week would make over 70 passes. Why do you want defenders passing it to each other all game too slow and predictable? Bambi on ice player fast. Yep, agree. And potential. Steven says he's got potential. Yeah. Nick says, why do we want our centre-backs having so much of the ball? Give it to the creative players and attack. Well, we did see that slightly change under Smith from Rodgers, but still not enough in my opinion. Here's one. Enough comments now on James. Yeah, you're right. I think his national team manager. But, he's under contract, and how many teams are going to come in for him? I don't know, mate. I don't know. Here we go. Again, another one we've already spoken about a little bit. What do you think to Kagler Soyuncu? I mean, again, not played too many games, out of favour with Brendan Rodgers. Keep it clean in the chat. Well, I think we'll find it quite easy to keep this one clean, because I don't think there's going to be many Leicester fans in the comments below, with a bad word to say about Soyuncu. I think, he's been inconsistent at times. He's been rash. He's like a maverick. But let's just talk. I mean, look, we needed a clean sheet. We needed wins. We needed to shore up the defense in the last few weeks of the season. And let's all be honest, Kagler Soyuncu came in and did that. Yes, we still conceded. Yes, we still weren't great. But we all know we were better with him. We were better with him. And it's unfortunate that he got injured again. And he has played his last game for Leicester. He is out the door. Wayne says, class. Stephen Bean says, inconsistent. ZZ1 says, brilliant when played. Imtiaz says, reborn. Yeah, absolutely. James says, let down. It's an interesting one, James. Let us know why. Morris says, best player. Imtiaz says, solid, reinvigorated, reborn, renaissance. Yeah, fair enough. Patrick, unlucky. Feel bad for him. Yeah. Underused. Absolutely under Brendan Rodgers. It's the reason why he's not going to be at the club anymore. Kunal, forgotten. Ronald McDonald, why on earth did Brendan pick him over? By the way, can I have a free Big Mac? Can you bring it around later? I'm a bit hungry. Cheers. Yes, why did Brendan pick him over Amartey? It's an interesting one. Problem with management, for sure. For sure. Great in the few games he got to play. Andrew Taylor, he was excellent when he played. Look at all these comments, and I love it. I love it. I only wish Soyuncu would see this. We love him. We really do. A lot of fans do love him, and we're going to miss him. And as Andy said here, going to miss him. What happened between him and Brendan cost us because he's now gone, which is right. Stephen says, showed passion. Yeah, absolutely. Legend for nutting Rodgers at Seagull. I wish that happened. That would have been funny. Brendan the Clown never played him all season. We spoke about Soyuncu and Rodgers on my show on Tuesday. So please, after this, go back and watch it. It was called Brendan Rodgers. Would Brendan Rodgers have kept us up or something like that? So go check that out. I don't want him to leave. I know. I'll do the love heart as well. I will miss him. Sad to see him go. I think I'll end it there with Soyuncu because I think that sums up a lot of Leicester fans. Next player on the list, we're going to go to... Oh, here we go. Hear me out. I mean, please don't come for me with pitchforks for putting this up on screen. There's two of them, obviously, but I'll start with this one. I'm sorry, by the way. Try and keep it clean in the comments. No swear words, no abuse. This man. Well, this is going to be quick. I mean, he's not played a single minute. So do we even really need to bring anything up? I mean, I did ask, what do you think to them this season? So, yeah, I mean... Yeah, I mean, I don't need to go through this too much. All I'll put up is I'll put this one up. Joke man, stealing 11. Yeah, that's it for him. Imtiaz, mate. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Next one up is this man over here, Johnny Evans. Like I said, again, another one due to injuries who hasn't really played too much this season. Can we still rely on Johnny Evans? Let me know in the comments. It'd be interesting to see what everyone thinks. Again, he probably has shored up the defense a little bit. But can we still rely on this man? I mean, he is out of contract. Remember this. Will he re-sign in the Championship? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Would you want him to sign? Do you want him to re-sign? Let us know. Let us know. Let's have a look. I'm still seeing the Bertrand comments. Played the same number of games as all of us. Oh, that's Bertrand as well. Andy says injury problem this season. Again, you could be talking about Bertrand or Evans there, but yeah. Here we go. Johnny Evans, experience, absolutely. Legendary, Mohammed says. Legendary. Injury prone, Costas. Yeah, you can't disagree with that. A true captain, Morris says. Battler, but injury prone. Yeah, he's got a lot of battle wounds, I would say, from his playing career. A few injuries. You know, he's just a little bit too injury prone at the minute. Wayne says, great player, just injured too easily. That is James says, sick note, hopeless as captain. I think that's a bit harsh about captain, but yes, sick note does sum him up. I wasn't going to talk about this too much, but I'm just going to put it up on screen. Brendan is being slated, but also gave us some amazing times. When the board don't back you financially with players he wanted, how does all the blame fall on him? Did he mess up? Yes, but when you can't put your ideas forward. All I'm going to say is one thing, Andy. I'm just going to go over the one comment there where you said, when the board don't back you financially with players he wanted, how does all the blame fall on him? Do you know what players he wanted to replace? Ayoze Perez, Bubakari Samari, Patson Daka, it seems. Do you know who signed them? Vestergaard, Bertrand. Do you know who signed them players? Do you know whose idea those players were? That's all I'll say. One man. Evans is a committed and honest player. Gives his all whenever he plays. Great pro, broken body, tenacious. You won't get 10 games a season out of him. Amartey to Besiktas soon. Evans is experienced, no doubt about that, but we need to move on. And we'll finish with an absolute, an absolute bargain besides this season. Championship would crucify Evans, a lot more physical. Yeah, and I think he knows that, which is probably why he won't sign. I'm just going to have a sip of this while I get the next one up on screen. They're midfielders, they're strikers. Here we go. We've already spoken about him already again, but what do we think? Do we know what are club signings and managerial signings, and when Rudkin is at the helm, things fall through? I have it on good authority, and there is a certain journalist within the Leicester area who has reported that in the last 18 to 12 months, Rodgers neglected his own recruitment staff and went for his own signings. So I think that tells you all you need to know. It's not Lilt though. It's the sugar-free version from Aldi, Tropical Blast. There are other supermarkets available, but it is nice. You can't even tell the difference. Here we go. Daniel Amartey. What are we all saying about this chap? Out of contract. He's linked with Besiktas. He's linked with Milan. I think that was probably a false rumor from his agent. It's all good, Andy. I can see your comment, mate. It's all good. No worries. I like to educate when I can. I can't normally educate that much, but yeah. Daniel Amartey, shall we try and re-sign him? I don't think we will. I think even if he had 4 years left on his contract, we'd probably try and get rid of him, and we'd probably only get a few million for him. But let us know in the comments. Try and be respectful again, as always, so I can get the comments up, because if there are swear words or abusive comments, I will not put them on screen. What do you think to this chap this season? Let's have a look what people are saying. Play him in the right position. Right back, centre defensive midfielder. Let us know what position you think that is. He tries his hardest, bless him. I'm not even being sarcastic. Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. Ronald McDonald says bye-bye. Our analysts left because of Rodgers. Oh, yeah, that's a different topic. Hard worker, but very poor. Amartey is out of contract and out of his depth. Defensive midfielder, not a defender. That's interesting. I didn't really see much from his passing ability, so it'd be interesting to see what he's like in midfield. Clumsy, good riddance, a cult hero for all the wrong reasons, I would say, Sam. Game over. Big Dan tried hard, but needs a new club. Bye-bye. Get gone. I try picking the brains of Birch, who lives over the road, and let's say he says so much without saying a lot. Yeah, I mean, Birch is a professional. He won't really dig too much, I imagine. He won't throw the dirt, but just read Rob Tanner's articles, mate. They're as honest as you'll get. Nick Moore tries hard but needs a new club. Morris reckons right back for Amartey. Finn says plays like Ronald McDonald, and Stephen says does try hard. Imtiaz also said Amartey is a strain on the payroll, including Bertrand and Vestergaard. Next player, who have we got? Here we go. This one's probably going to be very similar to yeah, I would agree with that, Imtiaz. Sorry, just to interrupt myself there. Rob Tanner is amazing. He writes for The Athletic, and I think it's like 50p a week or something, or a month at the minute. So you won't get a better deal than that. Well, you can watch Leicester Fan TV because that's free, but you know what I mean. Here we go. Thoughts on this, guys? Ricardo Pereira. I believe he's still got 2 years left on his deal, or a year. Correct me if I'm wrong. 3-4 years ago, I would say up there with the best of fullbacks in the Premier League. And his ACL injury against Aston Villa in the last game of the before COVID ruined him, and since then it has been very difficult for him to get back in the team. Let me know in the comments what you think to Ricardo. Do we try and get rid of him this summer, or do we keep him for a bit of, I don't know, morale? Would he even want to stay? Let us know. Imtiaz says professional attitude and class, but form has tapered off. Morris says keep him. Finn says Grealish has blood on his hands. Have to go now. Bye, mate. Class but injury prone, Stephen says. Keep and play right wing. Simon, I keep seeing this. We spoke about this the other day. You know what? For about 3 years, I have seen comments for Ricardo Pereira to play on the wing. I've seen it like once. I think he's been there once, and it didn't go very well. I mean, if it hasn't happened yet, will it ever happen? You'd have thought it would have happened this year when he was back for periods, because we needed a winger really before. Well, Tete wasn't a great hit, was he? Kunal says talented. Patrick says missed, but will leave. Wayne says struggled. Pereira on the wing, not trustworthy. I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely. I think I'd rather Aguezi Perez. Next player on the list is that it? I think that might be it, actually. Oh, no, one more. Castagna should be here. I can't see him, so apologies for that. We'll just stay this now. Everson, we've already spoken about one goalkeeper in Danny Ward. Let me know what you think to this man. Personally, I will start us off. I think that he's done a magnificent job under pressure coming in. You know, Danny Ward was absolutely shocking all year, and when Iverson came in, he really did. You know, it was like a duck to water. You know, it was amazing what we saw. Still some errors, as you'd expect from a young, inexperienced goalkeeper who hasn't played much football. But remember, this guy is Kasper Schmeichel's protege. Remember that. Kasper Schmeichel said in the Monday Night Football studios a few weeks ago that he is really proud of Iverson and that he does trust him. And I think we can take a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of confidence from that. And as Stephen says here, the future. Yeah, I would say he is our future number one. Absolutely. Simon says decent. Nick says keep Iverson, knows the championship. Wayne says improving. Finn says breakout or breakthrough season pending. Ronald McDonald says Iverson needs to stay. Imtiaz says Iverson has grown from a child to a man whilst under severe pressure. Quality job. Few mistakes, but that's expected. Shop stopping is unbelievable. I would say he really needs to focus on his distribution. And I would expect a lot more from him distribution-wise, being, you know, a kind of protege to Kasper Schmeichel, who we know has got good distribution at times. But that is his weak area, I would say, is his distribution, because a lot of the time we see the ball go into the stand. Number one, Patrick says, Iverson says will be great in the championship. Andrew says, Sam says great shot stopper. Nick says improving and hopefully good in the championship. And Imtiaz says, I remember that Schmeichel interview on Monday Night Football was proper insightful. Schmeichel is a good talker. Yeah, no doubt. If Schmeichel doesn't go into coaching, he will be a pundit, and he will be a very good one indeed. Patrick says Preston player of the season when he was there. The right league for an up-and-coming keeper. I trust Iverson. Well, let's hope we go up first try, because if he does have a good season, you just know that there'll be some Premier League clubs after him in a year's time. Kunar says needs to think better though. Yeah, I'd agree. And Salah says keep him. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't have one here for Castagna, unfortunately, for some reason. But to finish off, please let me know in the comments, what do you think to Castagna? That's the last player really that I haven't spoken about. It'll be an interesting one because I see I'm struggling to spell Castagna for some reason. Let me know, what do you think to Timothy Castagna? Because I've seen a lot of split really within the fan base on what people think about him. Again, he's our Players Player of the Season, apparently. He's been voted Players Player of the Season, which is an interesting one. Do you think he'll stay? You know, I don't think he will. I think he'll probably go for 15 million or something like that, back to Italy maybe. But what do you think to him this year? Wayne says tries every game. Stephen says Castagna is great. Good when on a high. Kunal says, Imtiaz says Castagna has been average this season. Who hasn't? Simon says, I like him, but has struggled this season. Salah says Castagna will go because he wants to keep his international career for Belgium. I mean, has anyone ever been fully sold on Castagna? I mean, when was it? Was it 2 years ago he came? Was it the start of or was it 3 years? I think it was 3 years ago. It was 2020 he came? Yeah, it was 2020. What do you think to Castagna? Do you think have you ever been sold? Is my question really, because I don't know if I have. I think I've always just seen him as average. Nick says Castagna will go. Castagna is very up and down, not consistent. I hate saying his name as well. I always get it right, but It's just a bit of effort. Castagna, like lasagna, Castagna. Castagna was reliable and always available to play, above average player. You're right though about that. He's reliable, as in he's always there to play. He's not very injury prone, apart from his injury in the Euros, obviously, where he fractured his eye socket or something like that. But yeah, I have missed out a player, but we're not going to talk about him. It's Yannick Vestergaard, so apologies for missing him out. When well, just to put you through it again, we did have his little partner in crime. Anyway. So yeah, I mean that pretty much sums it up. You know, we've spoken about the fragilities in the defense, and obviously we've spoken about these players. I mean, there's the last few comments coming in about Castagna here. That goal against Wolves was amazing. Yeah, great build-up play as well. I have missed out Victor Christensen, guys, actually, which is a good reminder. Let me know what you think to Victor Christensen and Luke Thomas. Do you think they will both be starting in the Championship? Well, you'd think they're not both going to start because they're both left backs, but it's a bit of an interesting one because you think Luke Thomas is good enough for the Championship and you think Christensen's good for the Championship. So that's a nice little bit of squad depth, but yeah. Andrew Taylor says, are the rumours true that we're going to announce a new manager in the next 48 hours? I haven't seen these rumours anywhere, so it'll be interesting to see if they've come out in the last 45 minutes whilst I've been live. It doesn't look like it to me. Where have you seen these rumours, Andrew? I'll be interested to hear. Thomas will stay, and I hope Kelechi stays. Yeah, I mean... that would be massive if we manage to keep him. Christensen not adjusted to the Premier League. Thomas is ahead of him on the pecking order. I would say so. From the last few games, I think Thomas is ahead of him, which is a shame because when Christensen came in, I looked at him and thought, you know, he looks like a player. He looks like a bit of a player, but hasn't worked out really too much just yet. Thomas could play left back and Christensen on left wing again. Simon, you love this idea of playing fullbacks as wingers, don't you? Look, I really don't think next season's a time for going for it, you know, for experimenting. I just think we need to get it right next year because if we're spending big money this summer, which I imagine we are, we're going to be spending at least, you'd imagine at least 45, 50 million in the Championship. We have to get it spot on because if we spend that money and don't go straight up, let me tell you one thing. If you think we're, I'm going to say it, fucked now, you want to see us next year if we don't go straight back up. Christensen and Thomas will both benefit from playing in the Championship. Yeah. Sorry for swearing, by the way, if there's any kids watching. I doubt there is. Doesn't look like it. If only he took that chance against Newcastle. He'd go down in folklore, honestly. If he scored that would have been absolute madness. Absolute madness. Should have said Fuchs. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. We will need a good manager who will make us go up. I hope it's the first season. Yeah, I mean, we've been linked with Scott Parker and the Blackburn manager and, you know, Graham Potter. That's not going to happen, is it, Graham Potter? Let's be honest. Can't happen. Graham Potter's not coming. I've seen Allardyce today, but I think he's turned down Leeds. So I don't think he's going to come to us. Vardy, give it Vardy to the end of the season. I don't know, man. We're not in a great place. Andrew says, hope we get a Potter. Yeah, who was it who asked about the rumour? That was the other Andrew. Yeah, let us know, Andrew, where you've seen this rumour. John Dahl will stay with Blackburn. It'd be nice if we could get him, but yeah, I know what you mean. King Ranieri back on the radar. For me, guys, let me know. We'll finish on this. I know it's not defence. We've already spoken about defence. Does anybody agree with what I'm about to say about this? We can't do that. We cannot bring Ranieri back for several reasons. Number one, nothing's ever better the second time. Nothing's ever better the second time. You know, and it's going to ruin his legacy. If he doesn't work out, you know, it'll ruin the legacy that we've got. You never know. It could turn out the opposite and he could bring us up and we could win the whole bloody lot again. But no. Cambiasso, somebody said, it's an interesting one we've spoken about on the channel before. You know, he's had his coaching badges, and Andrew finishing there. It was mentioned on TalkSport. I didn't see it and I've not heard it, Andrew. But if you have read it, then fair enough, or heard it, fair enough. But I don't think we will announce a new manager just yet. But no, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much for joining. It was much appreciated. It's been great talking to you and getting all your comments on screen and hearing what you think to all of our below average defenders this season. Some sequels are better than prequels, though, would be a gamble. Yeah, let's have a bit of fun, guys. Name a sequel that was better than the prequel. Name a movie where the second one was better than the first. Back to the Future, maybe, but they were all as good as each other, weren't they? They were all as good as each other. Spider-Man, the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, they were pretty good. The second one was good. Let me know. Let's have a bit of fun before we finish. What movies are better sequel than the prequel? Shrek, yeah, nice one. That's what I was saying, Nick. They are all pretty equal, though, aren't they? They're all great, but yeah. Wayne says Rocky. Christopher says Toy Story. This is something new for Leicester Fan TV. I don't think we've spoken about movies much before. Terminator 2, nice one. Empire Strikes Back, great movie. I can see the viewers dropping now that we're talking about movies and not Leicester, guys. So I'm going to end it there. Thanks again for joining and watching. It's much appreciated. Like I said, for getting your opinions in on the defenders. We're going to have a show tomorrow talking about Rodkin and Whelan. So make sure you're there for that, because that's going to be an interesting one. There's been some comments about Rudkin today, so make sure you're there. I think I'm going to be doing the show, so I can probably give you a time so you can put it in your diaries. I reckon about 10:30 in the morning. What do you reckon? It's 10:30 tomorrow morning. So yeah, we'll be talking about that, and then it's the transfer window in a couple of weeks, so we'll be talking about potential signings. We'll go live when a new manager is announced, obviously, and yeah, thanks all for watching. It's much appreciated as always. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll catch you very, very soon. Cheers all.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everard's, Pucka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newbie & Co. Estate Agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.